Guys, Joe here with Shaq for the Football ERA, talking about who is going to win the NFC East this year.
Well, as you know, the NFC East, once again, is one of the most competitive divisions in the league again this year. It's going to be your basic free-for-all. All these teams have some weakness, but Dallas on paper is the favorite. One of the reasons why is because Dallas is one of the best defenses in the league. One of their weaknesses, though, is their depth. As long as they got Jay Ratliff, DeMarcus Ware, Marcus Spears and company on the front line, they're good. But behind them, if they suffer from any injuries, that's when we might see them run into problems. On their offensive line, they're missing Flozell Adams, who's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and going with Doug Free. They didn't have many injuries last year, and so they don't have much experience behind that initial line. So they'll have to be as fortunate as they were last year. One of the teams that has more depth is the Philadelphia Eagles. They have this depth because last year they had more adversity than Dallas does. And of course here at the Football ERA, one of our key concepts is adversity builds depth. Now they were missing their center towards the end of the year, and that's why they kind of fell off on their playoff run. Jamal Jackson is out again during training camp and for the first couple of weeks, but that helps them build that depth. They got Nick Cole, a couple other guys that we highlighted on our preview that are gaining experience by filling in. Also on defense, they were without many different starters in their front seven. Stuart Bradley comes back, and as long as they got Mike Patterson and Broderick Bunkley anchoring that middle, they should be good, and they have a lot of experience behind them. So this depth will help them deal with having a new quarterback and whatnot. This team could challenge for the NFC East. They could challenge Dallas. Now the New York Giants could actually challenge. They're a real sleeper team. They did lose Fred Robbins in the middle, who had anchored their D-line for a long time along with Barry Cofield. But since they won the Super Bowl with their defensive line, they've been building depth and drafting at the defensive line the whole time. They've got Chris Canty and Jay Alford that's got to step in. They brought Rocky Bernard over from Seattle that's going to also step in. And their defensive line is still as deep as ever. And if they get back to performing the way they were 2 seasons ago, they could really challenge. Their offensive line comes back intact. They haven't had much adversity there until this preseason. And if they have injuries, of course, that could set them back. Now, the Washington Redskins have a lot of issues. They have a lot of ground to catch up. There's no better coach to do that with than Mike Shanahan. He's done that in Denver before, as we've documented on our site. He built a new offensive line and just started off the ground running. Now here, he's got to do the same thing. I think the real issue that the Redskins have, besides that and a tough schedule, is that their defense is going to a totally new scheme. They've actually had to adapt to new personnel. We can see the issues they've had with Hainsworth and whatnot, trying to adapt Andre Carter to the 3-4. He's a true 4-3 defensive end. So we'll see. They have new guys in the middle. They've lost Cornelius Griffin and Mike Montgomery. So they've got some adapting to do. They're still a solid unit with a lot of talent. But to think that they're going to win right off the bat from ground zero, that would be a real stroke of fortune. Well, injuries, as you know, is going to determine really who's the outcome of who's really going to finish on top in this division and in the NFL. So we look forward to seeing you here at the Football ERA. Tune in at www.realfootballanalysis.com for more, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the season.